welcome to the Superintendent's Corner for October. I'm Matthew Wilt, and here with Superintendent Tim Saxton. Thank you for joining me today.
Good morning. Like I always say, it's a pleasure to be here at Boardman High School, and especially in BSTN.
It is really fun being up here, though, like all the times I get to be up here.
Great people, great facility.
You recently talked to the regional chambers at Good Evening Boardman about the schools, and I was there. It was really impressive just listening to all the honors that the school district has been honored. Can you tell us more about that?
Sure. I know in the past we took a look at some of the data and a deeper dive into the schools. So I thought the approach this year would be take a look at some of the overall honors, because there's been so many. It's been a great year. We started the year off being ranked the #1 school in on niche.com, which takes a look at all different aspects and actually gives their own report card. On that report card, we got all A's. I like that. That was just of the many good things that we do in the Boardman schools. So that was just a good way to kick off the year. And it kept getting better. U.S. News and World Report gave Boardman High School a Silver Award, which is the highest award of any district in the Mahoning Valley. And that it also has a lot to do with what we're doing with our AP scores, our advanced curriculum, our graduation rates. Then down the road, I know this group here is just tremendous, and there was a wonderful opportunity through the Ohio School Boards Association, which serves all 600 some districts across the state of Ohio. They were looking for a high school group to put together on a video to support public schools. And I got the email, and it was a natural fit for BSTN. I passed it on to you guys. You guys jumped on it and submitted it, and there were 63 offerings. You guys had the absolute highest score and won the prize. It was just so impressive. So your video, you're welcome. Thank you. Your video will be their featured video. There's a cash prize. And you guys will be honored down in Columbus, and you deserve the honor. And then even higher, it's nice to receive these local and these state awards, but to receive a national award, you know, the last time we probably received a national award was maybe our Grammy Award here. But from the Ohio Department of Education, Stadium Drive Elementary received a blue ribbon honor as being a high exemplary performing school. So just fantastic achievement. I know West had received one several years ago, so now we add Stadium Drive. So there's only 14, I take that back, there's 16 school districts in the state of Ohio that received one, and there were 300 public school districts across our nation. And I shouldn't say public school, buildings. These aren't districts, these are building honors. So in the state of Ohio, I think there's over 2,600 school buildings. So we're one to receive that, and across the nation, even more impressive. So I'll be joining a team, Principal Zaccoli and teacher from the building, Mrs. Cooper, and we will go to Washington, D.C. next week and meet the Secretary of the Department of Education and be handed that award. So that's going to be a fun event, and it's well-deserving, not just for Stadium Drive, but really for the Boardman schools. Yeah,
proving the excellence that we have strived to achieve.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's just, we know it exists because we're in the buildings, we see it in action, but it's nice to get
nice to be recognized.
That outside affirmation. Yeah. Absolutely.
With winter approaching, what do you want the parents and students to know about snow days, and how do you determine them?
No snow days this year. I've canceled snow days. How's that sound?
I mean, more learning, I guess.
I think parents would say yes. Some of the students would say, "What's he talking about?" Yeah. They just shut this video off. I don't control that. I wish that's when you're in a leadership position, it's you. Even when you're a teacher, you plan, you plot, you structure everything. You want things to be a success. We can't control the weather. I can't control what the roads look like. We have to react, and so I've had some very peaceful nights, and those will start to end because that goes on all night. You're up 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning, driving roads, talking to people that are out there. We have a couple services that plow, so they're out early. They have a good indication. Our transportation directors, so we try to make the best. The basis for our decision is it's safe to put kids on the road. And I know adults are transporting kids too, but first our buses and our adults, is it safe? Because our job is to have schools open, but if it's not safe, obviously we're not going to do that. So we take a look, and it can be different. I know people get frustrated, like, well, why is that school open, but that school's not? Yeah. Our conditions are different than West Branch or Beaver Local. We're a suburb. We have a lot of roads, more so than probably any other, except maybe Austintown's very similar. and then probably Canfield is probably the next similar. That's why everyone says, what's this ABCs? But we have very similar roads, and we have very similar road crews. We have an excellent road crew. So with a lot of input, we try to make the best decision. So stay tuned, I guess, and hopefully we won't see the first snow until December.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Maybe even after Christmas. Maybe like it doesn't snow until the week of Christmas, so we don't have to call school
Maybe
at all.
not at all. Yeah, so it seems to go in cycles. Some
Yeah.
years it's crazy and some years it's mellow.
We'll see.
Yeah.
So Election Day is coming up. It's November 6th. How does this affect the Boardman schools?
Well, a couple things. From a higher level, obviously leadership is going to be changing down in Columbus, and out of the governor's office, there's always budgets, and that's such a high concern. As we talked about last spring, how the governor's budget impacts Boardman. So again, leadership is going to change. So we'll see who gets elected, and then we're going to see. We've heard some of their basis for their campaigns, and then when they get in office, we'll see what their beliefs and values are and how they value education, which is very important to us. Us locally, we made a 10-year commitment last spring. The community supported us, and we need to honor that. And part of that is there's going to be some renewals that pop up over the next 10 years. Just weird timing. We have our first one. It's a small one. It's a $1.99 million, but still it's big. Last year, the hospital incident was less than $1 million. It had such a drastic impact. This is close to $2 million, which seems small, but again, that'd have double the impact that the hospital almost had on us. So it's renewal. It's no new taxes. It was first passed in 1984. So you can imagine how long it's been around. That's important to us. It raises the same amount of money over those years. The good thing is it's less of a tax burden on the individual taxpayer as the growth in Boardman increases. They contribute to that total, so that slowly lessens. So it's about 2.4 mils that generates that $2 million. When it's first passed, it was nearly 4 mils. So you can see it has decreased, but it's no new taxes. That's the best thing. No new taxes for our taxpayers at Boardman, but so crucial and so important to us to keep going and keep that 10-year pledge.
I understand that there's a new group in the state that is looking at school funding and to make it more fair. Can you tell us about the funding presentation that you and our school treasurer attended?
Yes, back in the DeRolf decision in the 90s, they've declared school funding unconstitutional. And so people say, okay, why isn't it fixed? It's such a healthy debate. There's so many variables. They've tried different ways. This is the first time, this is my 31st year in education, this is the first time I felt like a group is organized, has energy, has the right people at the table, people that are trying to take a good, honest look at what is the foundation for school funding. Right now, without getting into a long conversation, school funding is based on a dollar amount per student, which is $6,020. That went up last year from $6,000 to $10, so it went up $10. All right, so why? Because the governor decreed that. Now, I'm sure he has some financial analysts that have, but really people don't understand, where's that $6,000? So this group, it's through legislators Cupp and Patterson, have brought superintendents, have brought treasurers, and have brought legislators together to take a look, what does it cost for a typical kid in a typical town to get a typical education? Now, we know that doesn't exist, all right, but that's the basis. So once they get that basis number, now communities can decide, if we want more than that, then maybe that's on our shoulders. If we want less than that, then maybe our rates can go down. So that's a great idea, but that's a very healthy homework assignment, and they're digging deep and they're working on it. And they'll have some numbers. Our prediction is for the first of the year because they want to present it to the governor. So that's exciting.
Sounds like an exciting process to go through.
Yeah, and it's like I said, it's good energy, good brains. Like I said, it's organized. Like I said, it looks very promising. The second thing is that there's we've talked about we're a cap district. Again, that could be a whole show in itself. There's about 100 some cap districts in the state of Ohio. There's a group out there that is getting the cap districts together because, again, we're shortchanged about $4 million a year in funding, and no one seems to want to do anything about it. But now these groups are getting together. We're on the list where the 29th most penalized school district in the state of Ohio because of the cap. So we only achieved like 73% of our funding. And there's local districts that we're compared to, Kent City Schools outside of Kent State University up in Kenton, Ohio, is a similar district to us, but they're actually funded at 110%. So how can two districts that look exactly alike, one be funded 73%, one be funded 110%? And that's what they're trying to attack, because they're coming off they're piggybacking off of the Cup-Patterson. So great energy out there. So, and it takes time. So I'm not saying it's gonna be fixed overnight, but maybe 4 years from now, when you're a senior in college, you can come back and we can redo this interview.
Okay. Well, those are going to be some good changes when eventually they do happen.
Yeah, like I said, right now it can't get any worse for Boardman, because it seems like the formulas just impact us. And I know it probably sounds like something a superintendent would say, but we got the facts to prove it. That's the only district in Mahoning Valley that the formula is completely working against. So, like I say, maybe I'll have to eat my words, but I don't think it can get worse. So.
Boardman has applied and received a new Ohio Safety School grants. Can you tell us how much money the grant will supply and what types of things would be purchased with it?
Sure. Obviously, school safety is at the top of everyone's list. From last year to the start of this year to right now, and our state legislature is trying to do something about it. So they were able to free up some funding. We're going to get just slightly less than $24,000. So we need to take a look. What can we do? We'll take $24,000. So we want to spend it wisely. So we're taking a look at, okay, what are our immediate needs? Because we've done a lot of great improvements. So what are some things we can do with the $24,000? One of the things, door barricades are a hot topic to create that I call it like that bunker, to make sure people, if there is a safety issue, kids are safe somewhere in the building in case they can't get out. So we're taking a look at that. Obviously, it would cost a lot more, $24,000, but can we crawl, walk, run, start small? Taking a look, obviously, at our security cameras. Those are more for after something happens, but still, they are preventative measure. There's certain software programs that we use to help us if there's an emergency. We want to be able to get kids information quick, not have to go and look it up on paper. We want it handheld. We want it right in our hands. We want to be able to access it quickly without any Wi-Fi connection issues. That's crucial also to a child's safety. So we're working with our SROs, the township, in the schools, just to make sure, even though it's $24,000, may sound like a lot, or may not, but we want to make sure we spend every dollar wisely.
Yeah. That's always good, though. That's nice that we got the grant for school safety.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is there anything you'd like to add?
I know the first 9 weeks is over. Yeah. We're going into the second 9 weeks, so that's good and bad. So if someone had a great first 9 weeks, it's time to keep that going. If someone did not have a great first 9 weeks, the good thing is you get to hit a reset button and start fresh. And I know the holidays will quickly be here. Yeah. So and it seems like the closer we get to the holidays, the busier everyone's lives can get. So just take a little time, make sure we're there's so many good things going on. Let's make sure we're not rushing from event to event, and just enjoy it, enjoy our families, and look forward to the holidays.
I'm really looking forward for break.
Yeah.
And the band trip. I'm really excited for the band trip this year.
That's all right. You got to have those guideposts, those light posts out there that pull you through some of the
goals to get through.
Yeah, absolutely.
The rest of
that's okay.
Well, thank you for your time today, Mr. Saxton.
It's always a pleasure to be here. So.
As a senior, I'm looking forward to a great school year. If you're looking for any information about the schools, you can visit the school district website at boardmanschools.org. For BSTN, I'm Matthew Welton.